Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our YouTube channel. You're watching the Sizzle review with Sabah
and Izza. Today we are going to review Qissa Meherbano Ka, the last two episodes. The drama ended about a week ago, and we finally saw the
final episode.
So
where we left off was Meherbano shoots Murad Ali in the leg, and she runs out of the house with the baby, and she has nowhere to go. She goes to a taxi cab. He doesn't want anything to do with her. So then finally she gets a cell phone from the taxi guy, and she calls Mehran. And, she's a damsel in distress, and she needs Mehran to save her. And he's like her savior. Because he's madly in love with her, so he will do anything for her.
And that happens again and again throughout the drama.
Yeah, he's always, helping her out. And so he brings her to an apartment, and he says, "You and the baby stay here. I'll bring you some food. Nobody will know you're here. You're safe here." Meanwhile, they arrest Mehran, and the Chachi calls Meherbano and says, "Stay away from my son. He's in jail because of you." And so she thinks that he's in jail, and she thinks that she murdered Murad Ali.
Oh, okay.
So Murad Ali is not dead. He's okay. And so then she calls the police and she confesses to the murder.
Which didn't happen.
Which, he didn't happen.
Yeah.
He's in the hospital. So the police are very nice to her. They treated her really nice. And she confessed, and then there's a court scene with Meherbano on trial. And her lawyer is this male lawyer who's like a complete dud. He didn't know what the hell he was doing. He didn't even call Ayaz and Noor as witnesses, and they were living with her at the time. They witnessed, the abuse that she went through.
Yeah.
And the Murad Ali's lawyer was the woman who was very aggressive and very good. I thought the lawyers should have been switched. She should have had the female lawyer.
Yeah.
And anyway, she gets up on stand and she says that whatever I did was in self-defense. And she talked about how Murad Ali treated her so bad. Like after their nikah, he was gone for 10 years. He married Fadi. And then when he brought her back, he raped her every night. And she talked about how bad marital rape is and how she's a victim, but she's being criminalized, and how, we should have better laws. And there are no witnesses. I mean, you ask for witnesses. Where are you going to get a witness?
Yeah.
And I thought the speech that she said about that topic was very good. It had to be heard. It caused awareness, and it was very nicely done. But, it took like the last episode for everything to be resolved.
So that's one of the things that I have an issue with as well. A lot of these dramas, the girl suffers and suffers and suffers, and then everything is resolved in like one episode.
I know, the last episode. So Murad Ali is sent to jail. Oh yeah, so Fadi comes and testifies.
Oh, okay.
So, which I liked, a woman supporting another woman. She was his first wife, but she witnessed the whole thing, and she couldn't, she was conscious. And we found out that she's pregnant.
Conscious was waiting for the last episode.
Yeah. And then she became pregnant, and she told Murad Ali, "You're a loser. You deserve to go to jail. I'm pregnant, and I'm leaving you for good." And her brother, I guess, gave her half her jaidat, which she deserved. And her Murad Ali's mother had a stroke.
Okay.
And she couldn't talk for the rest of her life.
So that happened in the last episode too?
Yeah,
okay.
The last episode. So a lot of the issues were resolved. Noor and Ayaz are married, and she moved back into her house, old house, her dad's house. And so the last issue is Mehran and Meherbano. Mehran, who's her cousin, who's in love with her, proposes to her. And she says, "No, I don't want to marry you. I need to raise my son. I need time to raise my son. I want him to be like a great man, that will do good in this world. And I want to sell one of my businesses and have like a woman's shelter, so women have somewhere to go, when they're in my situation." And so I thought that was good, but the internet didn't want that. They wanted them to get married. And I guess you could infer like the way she was looking at him when it ended, and the way he was looking at her son. But the internet is like, okay, woman empowerment is good and all, but we want a happy ending. We want romance too. So
And the good kind of romance. Either we have like
Yes.
something terrible like with Muradali,
yeah.
or we don't have anything, you know.
Yeah, so they felt like they were jilted, they at least she could have said, yes, here's a guy who did everything for her, he was like her savior, he was so in love with her, and or maybe she didn't want to marry him because his mother didn't like her, but I think she would have come around.
Yeah.
But I can understand going from one marriage to another, like you need time to heal and everything.
That's
So-
why the everything else should have happened like a few episodes earlier.
Exactly.
So that we can, there is some time to wrap everything in a pretty
Exactly.
bow instead of just like throwing everything in
At
the
the
same
end.
last episode. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I didn't like. Like, we see 23 episodes of her being abused, and then at the last episode, everything is resolved, and
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. So, but that ended, and we're done with Qissa Meherbano Ka.
So are we still giving it? Did we give it a good watch before?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a good watch. Qissa Meherbano Ka had amazing ratings in UK.
Oh,
It was like the #1 Pakistani drama. That
that is so interesting.
in UK, they loved it.
Did it? Do we know why, or
I don't
just
know.
it took off? with
Yeah,
the-
just
yeah.
it went viral over there.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, I would still give it a good watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for all those people who usually like to wait till the end of the drama, so the drama has ended and you can start binge watching it now.
Yeah,
And go
exactly.
through all 24 episodes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us for another Sizzle review. This is Izza.
And this is Sabah signing off.